Well, guys, here we are in the finals of America's Got Talent. How are you feeling? I feel like I've got the music in me.
Darci Lynne Farmer captured the hearts of millions when she burst onto the stage of America's Got Talent in 2017. A young girl from Oklahoma with a dazzling smile, unmatched charisma, and an extraordinary talent for ventriloquism, Darci's performances were nothing short of mesmerizing. Her ability to blend humor, music, and flawless puppet control made her an instant fan favorite. But behind the applause, laughter, and accolades lay a story far more complex. The tragedy that eventually unfolded would shock her fans and leave a lasting imprint on her journey. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. Darci's rise to fame was meteoric. At just 12 years old, she took the talent competition by storm, winning not only the coveted golden buzzer during her audition, but also the entire season. Her signature routine with her puppet Petunia the Bunny was a breathtaking mix of ventriloquism and operatic singing, a rare feat for even seasoned performers. She soon became a household name, her face gracing magazine covers and television screens across the country. Despite her youth, she maintained a level of professionalism and poise that belied her age, handling interviews and public appearances with grace. However, the pressures of fame weighed heavily on her. Darci had always been a sensitive and introverted child, preferring the quiet comforts of her family life to the chaos of show business. As her popularity grew, so did the demands on her time and energy. The grueling schedule of performances, media obligations, and travel began to take a toll. While her peers were enjoying the simplicity of school dances and soccer games, Darci was performing in front of thousands, her every move scrutinized by the public. Behind the scenes, Darci struggled to balance the expectations placed upon her with her own needs as a young teenager. Her parents, though supportive and loving, found themselves caught in the whirlwind of her newfound fame. They tried to shield her from the harsher realities of the entertainment industry, but the pressures were inescapable. Darci, like many child stars before her, began to feel the weight of living up to her fans' expectations, the relentless need to be perfect every time she stepped on stage. The first signs of trouble emerged in the form of exhaustion. Darci would often push herself to the brink, rehearsing for hours to ensure her routines were flawless. This level of dedication, while admirable, came at a cost. Friends and family noticed a change in her demeanor. The once energetic and bubbly young girl became withdrawn, her laughter less frequent. She began to suffer from anxiety, worrying incessantly about whether she was good enough, whether her voice would crack during a performance, or whether her audience would still love her if she made a mistake. As her anxiety deepened, Darci started experiencing health issues. Chronic fatigue and frequent migraines became a regular part of her life. Despite her discomfort, she rarely canceled performances, fearing she would disappoint her fans. Her health deteriorated further when she began to suffer from vocal strain, a condition exacerbated by the demanding nature of her act. Singing operatic numbers while maintaining ventriloquism required immense vocal control, and the strain eventually led to partial damage of her vocal cords. For someone whose identity and career revolved around her voice, this was a devastating blow. While Darci battled her physical ailments, the emotional toll of her fame became increasingly apparent. She struggled with feelings of isolation, as her rigorous schedule left little time for genuine connections with peers her own age. Though surrounded by fans and admirers, Darci often felt alone, trapped in a world where she had to constantly perform and impress. Social media, which had been a source of support and encouragement, became a double-edged sword. The occasional cruel comment or piece of harsh criticism would cut deeply, fueling her insecurities and amplifying her inner turmoil. The pressure reached its peak during one particularly high-stakes performance. Darci had been invited to headline a major event, her biggest audience yet. Despite her preparation, her anxiety was overwhelming. As she stepped onto the stage, the bright lights and sea of faces blurred together, and for the first time in her career, Darci faltered. Her voice cracked during a pivotal moment in her song, and she stumbled over her ventriloquism. The audience's applause was kind but subdued, a stark contrast to the thunderous ovations she was used to. That moment marked a turning point for Darci. She felt humiliated and convinced that she had let everyone down. The incident sparked a downward spiral, and Darci withdrew even further from the people around her. She began to question whether she wanted to continue in the entertainment industry at all. The very thing that had brought her so much joy and recognition now seemed like an insurmountable burden. Recognizing her distress, Darci's family intervened. They urged her to take a step back and focus on her health and well-being. Though reluctant at first, Darci eventually agreed to a hiatus, canceling upcoming performances and retreating from the public eye. This decision was met with mixed reactions. While many fans expressed understanding and support, others criticized her for abandoning her career at its peak. The weight of their disappointment added to Darci's feelings of guilt and failure. During her time away from the spotlight, Darci sought help from therapists and vocal coaches to address both her emotional struggles and her vocal damage. She dedicated herself to healing, rediscovering the joy in her craft without the suffocating pressure of perfection. Slowly but surely, she began to rebuild her confidence. Though the journey was far from easy, Darci found solace in the support of her family and close friends, as well as in her faith. Despite her progress, the scars of her ordeal remained. Darci's experience serves as a poignant reminder of the darker side of fame, especially for child stars thrust into the limelight before they've had a chance to fully understand themselves. Her story highlights the importance of mental health, balance, and the need for a strong support system in navigating the complexities of a public life. Over time, Darci began to make selective appearances, performing not out of obligation but out of a genuine desire to share her talent. She returned to the stage on her own terms, prioritizing her well-being over the need to please others. Her resilience and courage in facing her challenges inspired many, and she became an advocate for mental health awareness, using her platform to speak openly about the struggles she had endured. The tragedy of Darci Lynne is not defined by her hardships, but by the strength she showed in overcoming them. Her journey underscores the importance of prioritizing self-care and listening to one's own needs, even in the face of immense pressure. While her story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of early fame, it is also one of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Darci's life today is a testament to her determination to find balance and purpose beyond the stage. Though the road has been fraught with challenges, she continues to use her voice, both figuratively and literally, to inspire and uplift others. Her experience serves as a reminder that even in the face of devastating setbacks, it is possible to rise, rebuild, and thrive. Darci Lynne's journey through the storm of her early fame, while deeply tragic in parts, also revealed the profound complexities of human resilience, vulnerability, and the cost of artistic brilliance. To fully grasp the scope of her tragedy, one must delve deeper into the cultural and systemic factors that contributed to her struggle, as well as the personal battles she faced in rebuilding herself after falling from the peak of her fame. The entertainment industry, particularly for child performers, can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it offers a platform for immense creativity and public adoration, but on the other, it often strips young stars of the innocence and freedom that define childhood. Darci Lynne's career highlights the precarious nature of this balance. Child stars are expected to navigate a world dominated by adults, managers, producers, agents, and fans, with a maturity and professionalism that even grown performers struggle to maintain. The inherent unfairness of this expectation became a defining challenge in Darci's life. The public's fascination with her talent placed her under constant scrutiny, which further complicated her adolescence. Growing up in the spotlight means living under a microscope, with every misstep magnified. As Darci's fame grew, so did her exposure to the darker corners of celebrity culture. Social media, once a source of connection, often amplified her insecurities. Platforms like Instagram and Twitter, which thrive on constant engagement, became battlegrounds where adoration was counterbalanced by trolling and unrelenting criticism. For a teenager still trying to understand her identity, this feedback loop could be overwhelming. Another facet of Darci's tragedy lay in the subtle but significant erosion of her sense of self. Her natural gift for ventriloquism and singing made her a star, but as she became more associated with her puppets and performances, she began to feel like she was losing touch with her own identity. The boundaries between Darci Lynne, the person, and Darci Lynne, the performer, started to blur. Public figures are often expected to maintain a persona, and for Darci, this persona was one of perpetual joy, humor, and flawless talent. The weight of maintaining this image contributed to her feelings of alienation, as she felt she couldn't let her true emotions show without risking public disappointment. The immense physical demands of her craft added another layer to her struggle. While many admire the artistry of ventriloquism, few fully comprehend the discipline and physical strain it entails. Darci's ability to sing operatic numbers while maintaining perfect control over her puppets required years of practice and an almost superhuman level of coordination. The toll this took on her body, particularly her vocal cords and jaw muscles, was immense. Vocal strain was one of the earliest indicators of her deteriorating physical health, but she continued to push through the pain, driven by a fear of letting down her fans and family. The relentless pace of her early career also disrupted her education and social development. Darci had to be homeschooled to accommodate her travel and performance schedule, which created a sense of detachment from her peers. While other teenagers were forming friendships, attending school dances, and navigating the typical ups and downs of adolescence, Darci was living a vastly different reality. Though she was surrounded by adoring fans and industry professionals, the lack of close age-appropriate friendships left her feeling isolated. This lack of a normal teenage experience deepened her sense of loneliness and contributed to her emotional struggles. One of the most profound aspects of Darci's tragedy was the mental toll it took on her. Anxiety became a constant companion, exacerbated by the immense pressure she placed on herself to succeed. Anxiety disorders among performers are not uncommon, but in Darci's case, the stakes felt particularly high. She carried the weight of her fans' expectations, her family's hopes, and the demands of an industry that often prioritizes profits over the well-being of its stars. Her anxiety manifested in sleepless nights, panic attacks, and a crippling fear of failure. The sheer intensity of these feelings left her emotionally drained and increasingly uncertain about her future. The role of her family in her journey is also crucial to understanding the full scope of her story. Darci's parents, who had no prior experience navigating the entertainment industry, found themselves thrust into a world of contracts, public relations, and financial decisions. While they did their best to protect and support their daughter, they too faced enormous pressure. The complexity of balancing parental instincts with the practical realities of managing a young celebrity's career added strain to their relationships. Despite their best efforts, there were moments when the lines between family life and professional obligations blurred, creating tension and misunderstandings. As Darci retreated from the spotlight, the process of rediscovering herself proved to be both cathartic and challenging. Healing from such profound emotional and physical exhaustion required a multifaceted approach. Therapy played a crucial role in helping her unpack the experiences that had led to her breakdown. Through counseling, she learned to confront her fears and anxieties head-on, developing healthier coping mechanisms. She also worked with vocal therapists and physical trainers to rehabilitate her voice and strengthen her body, allowing her to regain control over her most valuable instrument. One of the most inspiring aspects of Darci's recovery was her determination to redefine her relationship with her craft. She recognized that to continue performing, she needed to do so on her own terms. This meant setting boundaries with the industry and prioritizing her mental and physical health over external expectations. She began to focus more on the creative aspects of her work, finding joy in experimenting with new characters, scripts, and musical styles. By rediscovering the playful and exploratory nature of ventriloquism, Darci rekindled her love for the art form that had once brought her so much happiness. Darci also began to use her platform to advocate for issues close to her heart. She became a vocal supporter of mental health awareness, particularly for young people in the entertainment industry. By sharing her own experiences, she helped shed light on the unique challenges faced by child performers and encouraged others to seek help when needed. Her willingness to be vulnerable and open about her struggles resonated deeply with her fans, many of whom found strength and solace in her story. Her journey toward healing also involved reconnecting with her roots. Returning to her hometown in Oklahoma provided a sense of grounding and stability. Surrounded by the familiar comforts of home, Darci was able to reflect on her journey and gain a clearer perspective on what truly mattered to her. She found joy in simple pleasures, spending time with family, exploring hobbies outside of ventriloquism, and even engaging in community projects. This period of introspection and self-discovery played a pivotal role in her transformation. Darci's comeback to the stage was a testament to her resilience and growth. When she finally decided to perform again, it was not out of obligation, but out of a genuine love for her craft. Her return was marked by a newfound sense of confidence and authenticity. She no longer felt the need to prove herself to others. Instead, she performed for the sheer joy of sharing her talent. This shift in perspective not only revitalized her career, but also deepened her connection with her audience. Her performances were imbued with a raw, emotional honesty that resonated powerfully with those who watched her. The lessons Darci Lynne learned from her ordeal extend far beyond the realm of entertainment. Her story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of balance, self-awareness, and the courage to prioritize one's well-being. It underscores the need for systemic changes within the entertainment industry to better support young performers, ensuring that their mental and physical health is not sacrificed in the pursuit of success. Darci's advocacy work continues to inspire conversations about these critical issues, fostering a greater understanding of the challenges faced by child stars. Darci's tragedy and triumph reflect the resilience of the human spirit. Her ability to rise above her struggles and find meaning in her journey speaks to the strength and depth of her character. While the pain and hardship she endured will always be a part of her story, they do not define her. Instead, they have shaped her into a stronger, more compassionate, and more self-aware individual. Today, Darci Lynne stands as a symbol of hope and perseverance, proving that even in the face of profound adversity, it is possible to reclaim one's voice and rediscover the joy of living. Her journey is a beacon for countless others who may find themselves struggling under the weight of societal or personal expectations. It reminds us all of the importance of kindness, both toward ourselves and others, and the transformative power of vulnerability and authenticity. For Darci, the road ahead may still hold challenges, but her unwavering spirit ensures that she will continue to shine both on and off the stage as a testament to the enduring strength of the human heart. Darci Lynne's journey into stardom and her eventual retreat from the limelight illuminate a broader conversation about the pressures faced by young performers in a world that glorifies fame without fully understanding its weight. While her story is deeply personal, it serves as a lens through which we can explore the complex interplay of childhood, identity, societal expectations, and the unforgiving nature of celebrity culture. To truly understand the magnitude of her challenges, one must delve further into the societal, psychological, and cultural forces that contributed to her tragedy and shaped her recovery. The roots of Darci's tragedy can be traced to the societal fixation on exceptional talent, particularly when it emerges in children. From prodigies in classical music to viral internet sensations, there is a long-standing fascination with children who display abilities beyond their years. This fascination often results in a voracious public appetite for more performances, more content, and more access to the lives of these young stars. Darci, as a ventriloquist and singer with extraordinary skills, became a symbol of this phenomenon. Her uniqueness, while celebrated, also marked her as different from her peers, placing her in a category where she was not only admired but also relentlessly scrutinized. The rapid pace at which her fame unfolded added to the pressure. Within weeks of her debut on America's Got Talent, Darci went from performing at local talent shows to being a national icon. Such swift transitions can be disorienting, especially for someone still in their formative years. Adolescence is a time when most people are still figuring out who they are, exploring their interests, and learning how to navigate relationships. For Darci, this critical period of self-discovery was overshadowed by the demands of a public career. The constant cycle of performances, media appearances, and promotional activities left little room for introspection or personal growth. Adding to the complexity was the commodification of her image and talent. Once she became a household name, Darci was not only seen as a performer, but also as a brand. Merchandise featuring her likeness and her puppets flooded the market, and her performances became highly sought-after events. While this level of success brought financial security and professional opportunities, it also reduced her identity to a marketable commodity. The industry's focus on maximizing her appeal left little regard for her emotional and physical well-being, creating a dynamic where her personal needs were often sidelined in favor of maintaining her public persona. This commodification also impacted her relationships. Genuine connections became harder to discern as her fame grew. It is a well-documented phenomenon that celebrities often struggle with trust, as they are never quite sure if people are drawn to them for who they are or for their fame. For a teenager like Darci, this uncertainty was especially painful. The fear of being used or misunderstood created a barrier between her and potential friends, reinforcing her feelings of isolation. Even well-meaning fans who showered her with admiration and gifts contributed to her sense of being different and alone, as they often viewed her through the lens of her performances rather than as a regular young girl with everyday struggles. The impact of fame on mental health is a topic that has gained increasing attention in recent years, and Darci's experience exemplifies why this issue is so critical. Studies have shown that child performers are at a heightened risk of developing anxiety, depression, and other mental health challenges due to the pressures they face. The constant need to meet public expectations, coupled with the loss of privacy and normalcy, can create an environment where stress and self-doubt thrive. For Darci, this was compounded by the weight of being a role model. She was often held up as an example of hard work, perseverance, and talent, which made her feel that she could never show weakness or vulnerability. The role of social media in her struggles cannot be overstated. While platforms like Instagram and TikTok allowed her to connect with fans and share her journey, they also became spaces where she faced criticism and negativity. For every supportive comment, there were others that questioned her authenticity, criticized her appearance, or compared her to other performers. These remarks, while seemingly trivial, had a cumulative effect, chipping away at her confidence and amplifying her insecurities. Social media's culture of comparison, where carefully curated highlight reels are often mistaken for reality, further fueled her feelings of inadequacy. In addition to the external pressures, Darci faced internal conflicts about her identity and purpose. As she grew older, she began to question whether her passion for ventriloquism and singing was enough to sustain her in the long term. The very act of performing, which had once been a source of joy and fulfillment, started to feel like an obligation. She struggled with the notion that her worth was tied solely to her talent, fearing that if she ever decided to step away from the stage, she would lose her sense of purpose and the love of her audience. This existential dilemma added to her emotional burden, making her feel trapped in a cycle she could not escape. Darci's tragedy also highlights the systemic shortcomings in how the entertainment industry supports young performers. While there are laws and regulations in place to protect child actors, such as limitations on working hours and the requirement of trust funds, these measures often fail to address the emotional and psychological challenges they face. There is a lack of accessible mental health resources tailored to the unique experiences of child stars, leaving many to navigate their struggles alone. In Darci's case, her family did their best to provide a supportive environment, but they were often navigating uncharted territory without a clear roadmap or professional guidance. The turning point in Darci's story came when she decided to step away from the spotlight to focus on her health and well-being. This decision, though difficult, marked the beginning of her journey toward healing and self-discovery. By removing herself from the relentless demands of the industry, she created space to explore who she was beyond her talent. This period of reflection allowed her to reconnect with her inner child, rediscovering the simple joys of life that had been overshadowed by her career. She found solace in activities like journaling, painting, and spending time in nature, which helped her process her emotions and gain a deeper understanding of herself. Her recovery also involved rebuilding her physical strength and addressing the vocal damage she had sustained. Working with vocal therapists and coaches, Darci gradually regained her confidence in her abilities. This process was not just about repairing her voice, but also about redefining her relationship with her craft. She began to see ventriloquism and singing not as obligations, but as forms of self-expression and creativity. This shift in perspective allowed her to approach her art with a renewed sense of purpose and passion. Darci's eventual return to the stage was a powerful testament to her resilience. When she performed again, it was with a maturity and authenticity that resonated deeply with her audience. She no longer felt the need to project an image of perfection. Instead, she embraced her imperfections and shared her journey openly. This vulnerability made her performances even more impactful, as they were infused with the wisdom and strength she had gained from her struggles. Her story became a source of inspiration for others, particularly young people facing their own challenges with identity, self-esteem, and mental health. Her advocacy for mental health awareness has had a lasting impact, sparking important conversations about the need for better support systems for young performers. By sharing her experiences, Darci has helped break down the stigma surrounding mental health and encouraged others to seek help when needed. She has also called for reforms within the entertainment industry, advocating for more comprehensive mental health resources and greater accountability in how young stars are managed and supported. Today, Darci Lynne's life is a testament to the power of perseverance and self-discovery. While her journey has been marked by profound challenges, it has also been a story of growth, transformation, and hope. She has emerged from her struggles with a clearer sense of who she is and what she values, using her platform to uplift and inspire others. Her tragedy, while deeply painful, has ultimately shaped her into a stronger and more compassionate individual. In the broader context, Darci's story serves as a reminder of the importance of balance, both for individuals and for the systems that support them. It highlights the need to prioritize mental health and well-being, to cultivate genuine connections, and to embrace vulnerability as a source of strength. Her journey is a powerful example of how even the most devastating challenges can be transformed into opportunities for growth and healing, offering hope to anyone facing their own struggles. The lessons from Darci's life extend far beyond the realm of entertainment. They resonate with anyone who has ever felt the weight of expectations, the sting of failure, or the fear of losing themselves in the pursuit of success. Her story is a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and a beacon of hope for those striving to find their own path amid the pressures of life. Through her resilience, courage, and unwavering authenticity, Darci Lynne continues to shine, reminding us all of the importance of staying true to ourselves and finding joy in the journey. Darci Lynne's journey is not just a story of personal hardship, but a broader reflection on the nature of artistry and its impact on identity. One of the most compelling aspects of her experience is how her relationship with her art evolved over time. Ventriloquism, which initially served as a means of overcoming shyness, became a sanctuary where Darci could express herself in ways she couldn't otherwise. Yet, as her career took off, the very art form that had once empowered her began to feel like a source of confinement. Her puppets, which had been her creative companions, started to symbolize the immense pressure to perform, leaving her grappling with the tension between passion and obligation. This internal conflict raises important questions about how success can sometimes distort the very joy that drives creativity. For Darci, the transition from performing for fun to performing as a profession marked a significant shift in her relationship with her craft. This tension is something many artists face when their passion becomes their livelihood. But for a young performer still discovering herself, it was particularly challenging. Learning to reclaim her art as a source of personal fulfillment rather than a tool for public validation became a crucial part of her recovery. Moreover, Darci's story highlights the nuances of artistic vulnerability. Her puppets served as an extension of her voice, allowing her to explore a range of emotions and narratives while maintaining a layer of separation between herself and her audience. This dynamic made her performances feel deeply personal, yet emotionally safe. However, as the pressures of fame mounted, that protective barrier began to erode. Darci found herself feeling increasingly exposed, especially when her performances were met with criticism or when she felt she hadn't lived up to her own high standards. The vulnerability inherent in sharing one's art with the world became both a source of connection and a cause of emotional strain. Another layer of complexity in Darci's journey lies in the way she was perceived by the public. While many admired her for her talent and poise, the constant attention often reduced her to a symbol of precocious success rather than a multidimensional individual. This phenomenon is not uncommon for child stars, who are frequently idealized or romanticized in ways that fail to acknowledge their humanity. For Darci, this public image created a gap between how she was seen and how she felt, further exacerbating her sense of isolation. Bridging this gap required her to confront the ways in which fame had shaped her self-perception and to redefine her identity on her own terms. Darci's story is one of reclaiming agency and finding balance. She learned to set boundaries, to prioritize her well-being over the expectations of others, and to embrace her imperfections as part of her growth. Her journey illustrates that true resilience is not about avoiding struggle, but about learning to navigate it with grace and self-compassion. Darci's transformation is a powerful reminder that even in the face of immense challenges, it is possible to emerge stronger, more self-aware, and more connected to one's authentic self. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on the tragedy involving Darci Lynne? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.